Welcome to Concepts and Continuity, the first of the sessions in this Tenderfoot unit. In this short video introduction, I want to try and give you a taste of what you can expect from the session as a whole. Although the session is packed with far more than I could possibly ever cover in the short time available here, the aim of this video is to help to illustrate just how the session will enable you, as teachers, to develop further, not to mention the benefit it will give to your pupils and their learning of computer science. In this session, the focus is on a small number of core concepts and programming constructs that lay at the heart of the successful teaching and learning of programming in Key Stage 3, but that also run throughout the teaching and learning of programming across all key stages and create a continuity for both pupils and teachers. It will also provide you with a clear number of outcomes that you can take away after completing it. In this particular session, these are to understand the key concepts required to write programs, to recognise the three key constructs in every program, to become familiar with functions and procedures, and to recognise their role in structured programming. To begin with though, the session will take us on a short historical detour for us to reflect on the work of Seymour Papert. Basically, his work showed that children learn by thinking and doing in computer science, and not through direct instruction. There is no doubt that his work revolutionised the approach to teaching programming, and that it offers us many important points to reflect on, even if we can only do it briefly here. Just as revolutionary, maybe even more so, is the work of one of Papert's researchers, someone called Mitch Resnick, that was a driving force behind the development of Scratch and block-based languages. With their removal of the need to type commands, Scratch, Snap and other block-based languages have provided us with a very low floor of entry with which to open up the skills and aptitudes of programming to a wider scope of pupils. Yet, at the same time, this low floor of entry does not at all mean that these block-based languages are only fit for beginners, or are simply just toy languages, as I'm sure the activities throughout the session will help to demonstrate. Although the session covers the what of teaching programming, as stated in the National Curriculum Programme of Study, as well as how we might teach it, the main focus for us is the question of why, of looking at teaching from the terms of why do we teach it at all, and what exactly are we trying to achieve. As the session clarifies, this why is to enable children to think like computer scientists. We want to create a way of thinking that is adaptable, transferable, and provides continuity in any setting and at any level of development. As the session will explore in depth, this is best achieved through giving a central role to computational thinking in the teaching of programming, as well as to the teaching and learning of computer science in general. You see, from the very first time a child develops an algorithm and it doesn't work, it requires debugging, and they are beginning to employ and use the skills and aptitudes of computational thinking in their learning. By the time they enter Key Stage 3, this continuity should continue, but at greater depth and breadth. The session then goes on to explore just how this can be done by using BYOB, build your own blocks, to make some music, while unpacking the four key computational thinking concepts and the three key programming constructs that lay at the heart of successful programming. It begins with the challenge of creating music using simple sequencing, where we use blocks to create the script to play a whole line of music. It then continues to look at the concept of pattern recognition, generalization in computational thinking, and how, if we can spot certain patterns, we can then reuse our original sequence script and modify it rather than having to create a new one all over again. As the music making continues, the session goes on to explore the other constructs and concepts through practical application and how this can best be used in the classroom for teaching. Along the way, it explores the computational thinking concepts of decomposition, where we break down complex problems into smaller parts as a way of managing complexity, and abstraction, where we remove superfluous details to get at the heart of the problem. It also goes on to look closely at the other two key constructs in programming: selection, where we allow a program to branch down different routes if a certain condition is met, and repetition, which allows sequences of commands to be repeated by looping back. All the while looking at how we might teach these principles in the classroom. From here, the session continues to investigate and explore the role of procedures and functions in programming. In this case, using commands to create procedures by creating our own blocks, enabling us to create more complex sequences with ease. It also addresses the central aspect that students need to revisit the same ideas, concepts and constructs multiple times in different contexts and ways.
The session continues to explore how this can be done through using Lightbot, a popular online programming environment. Here, it looks at functions from a different perspective and further unpacking how they can be used. You might want to work through the session on your own,
and it comes complete with a wealth of learning materials and resources to support this. I would recommend that you will get the most from it when learning along with other teachers and being able to discuss and reflect on the exercises within. If you need more help with this, please contact Kaz or the Tenderfoot team. However, whatever way you approach the session, I hope you come away with new ideas and approaches and feel you have more understanding of those 4 key areas. Understanding the key concepts required to write programs, recognise the 3 key constructs used in every program, have become familiar with functions and procedures, and recognise their role in structured programming. Now, let me leave you with a few points to ponder on. Visual languages have proved a game changer, as we have said. But why do children seem to grasp a visual language better than text? And is a different pedagogy required to introduce them? And why do many children still find it difficult to transition to text?